So, at the end of one of my recent videos, I basically said I was going to be looking at doing a different format of videos for the channel. Well, that's it kind of coming here. So, yeah, one of the different reasons is what I want to do is just sort of, you know that I watch a lot of movies. You know, you watch one of my YouTube videos, my collection updates. You see my giant collection of Blu-rays, DVDs, you know, it's all there. So that's kind of got me wanting to do something a little different for the channel, really. Like, I've watched the channel Sean Chandler Talks About Movies, and it's something that he does for his is just rankings for different franchises. That's kind of what he's done. And I've watched this, I thought I could do something like this as well myself. So basically, that's a shout out towards him. So you've probably read that title, haven't you? You know what this ranking video is. Yeah, the 7 Muppet movies. Now you're thinking to yourself, isn't there 8 Muppet movies? Well, the truth is, one of them I haven't been able to be seen, and that one is this one here, The Muppets Take Manhattan. That's not on Disney Plus, and I don't have a DVD of it, so I haven't yet been able to watch it before doing the show. But don't worry, I'll come back with a sort of follow-up video, and that'll have Muppets Take Manhattan on it. I'll do that in the near future, don't worry about that. So that's basically what I want to do. I want to get into this video and do my personal ranking of the Muppet movies that I've seen. Now just keep in mind this is opinionated, so if one of my movies is lower down than where you would put it, don't take it personally. Basically, that's the easiest way to describe it. So let's just jump into the list. This is my ranking of 7 of the 8 Muppet movies from worst to first. So beginning the list at the bottom, we actually have what is the most recent movie, Muppets Most Wanted. So released in 2004, this one featured a character called Constantine who copied the title character, Kermit the Frog, except for a little pimple noted at the top of his mouth. Frames Kermit for a crime pretend to be him, gets Kermit arrested, and the entirety of the Muppet Show goes on without him, with Ricky Gervais as sort of a back secondary sidekick, and Tina Fey playing a prison guard. That's about the best I got out of that movie. Like, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining, but the problem was, a lot of what was being done in this one is some stuff that had already been featured in another Muppet movie, one that we'll get to later in the video. But that's kind of what I was seeing from this. Like, there was a lot, it was entertaining showing the Muppet Show sort of rebuild its popularity that it's had over the years. And that is kind of what I got from it. I just couldn't put on an exact point of what I could say was actually wrong with the movie, because it's entertaining, no doubt about that. And we do get all the characters, great characters from the 2011 Muppets movie back, including the new character Walter. We'll get more to him when the other movie comes into account. But the characters Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, and Animal, you know, all those characters we know and love, they're all here. It's an entertaining enough movie, but it just doesn't hold out to be one of my favourite ones of the Muppets, and that's kind of why it's at the bottom of the list of my Muppet movies ranking. So next up on the list we have what is the second of the Muppet sort of adaptation movies that was made to sort of take a story that had already been established and adapt it with Muppets. Muppet Treasure Island. I mean, again, this is one that just it was entertaining, but it just wasn't as entertaining enough as the last Muppet movies. We have Gonzo and Rizzo who are playing themselves, and they're working alongside the Treasure Island's title character, Jim Hawkins, and they're sort of his sidekicks. Then you have the Muppet characters playing sort of different characters, including Kermit as Captain Abraham Smollett, and Miss Piggy's playing Benjamina Gunn, who is a feminized version of the character Ben Gunn from the original Treasure Island story. Now, Treasure Island's a great story, I have to take that, and the Muppets did a good job in adapting this. And it does follow their musical style as well, especially with a very catchy song, which is very fitting to today's day and age, Cabin Fever, which I incidentally watched the day after the UK went into full lockdown. That was quite a laugh to realise, because Disney Plus actually launched in the UK the day after lockdown was announced, and then hearing that song, I did kind of find that quite funny, the fact that that happened. But yeah, Muppet Treasure Island, it's an entertaining story, and Tim Curry's Long John Silver, I haven't even got to that yet, he nails it. I've got to say, that is the best part of the movie. Tim Curry. Anything Tim Curry's in, to be honest, is just gold anyway. That's the easiest way to say it. He's good in everything he's in. Home Alone 2, that's another prime example. That's probably the top one. That's probably my top role of his. Then probably Clue. I'd probably say Clue, actually, now that I think about it. That's a good one too. Like, those two put together are like some of Tim Curry's greatest roles out there. But that's my number 6 ranking on my 7 Muppet movies ranked list. So number 5 on my list is the only one that I actually have a DVD at hand, Muppets from Space. You probably saw me reading that earlier, didn't you? Muppets from Space. I was just reading that on the back, reading the blurb. Now, this one actually has the slightly better aspect to me, because the one thing is it's decided not to make Kermit the central character for once, because the central character for this one is actually Gonzo, because Gonzo is basically... what even is Gonzo? I think that's the easiest way to say it. What is Gonzo? That's something I think I've debated, like I've wondered all my times over the years. I just called him a bird with a weird beak. That was just my easy. But he's always more commonly known as Gonzo the Great, or the Great Gonzo. So the basic plot of this one is Gonzo's searching for who he is and basically where he comes from. But what's different about Muppets from Space is it's actually not a musical. There are no musical numbers in this one this time. There's a bit of background music. That's about it. And that's actually okay. It's a different format for a Muppet movie. Gives it a sort of more sci-fi aspect rather than musical, yet still manages to be entertaining. I think that's the easiest way to put this down. You have some cast in there, including Andy McDowell. That was the most notable cast I recall being in the movie too, and plenty of Muppet jokes. There's an invisible spray joke which had me laughing. Miss Piggy has her sort of memory forgetful spray. The other characters are good, and we even get more of Pepe the King Prawn, a character who in my eyes is actually quite underrated when it comes to the Muppets. He is rather an underrated character to have in the franchise. But Muppets from Space has its moments which keep it excitable and entertaining. I think it stands there as being number 5 on my Muppet ranking list. And now number 4 on my ranking of the Muppets list is The Great Muppet Caper. Now this one is from 1981. And it's actually the only one in the series that was actually directed by Jim Henson himself. Again, that's probably why it's that entertaining. Jim Henson himself directed this one. I think nothing tops that, really, when you think about it. Yeah, that's kind of what comes about. So in this one, Kermit, Gonzo and Fozzie, they play news reporters, and they're basically sent to investigate a case for Lady Holiday, who's played by Diana Rigg, and they have to go to London to learn who discovered her jewels. That's the easiest way to sum up that one when it comes to count. Kermit accidentally thinks Miss Piggy is Lady Holiday, and they sort of become a couple throughout the movie. But sort of is setting in that place where the Muppets don't all know each other. That's their set point. And it did kind of serve as a sort of finale to the Muppet Show, because it was the first product of the Muppets to be released after the show wrapped. And the show is very entertaining as well. I've never actually brought that up, but some of that will come up later on in the list as well. It's got plenty of good cameos in there as well, including one of our very own John Cleese, who appears as a resident in a house that Kermit thinks Miss Piggy / Lady Holiday lives. And then there's other ones we see in there as well. We even get a Sesame Street cameo as well from Oscar the Grouch. So that's plenty there. And it does get that heist movie kind of thing. And it's kind of why one of the reasons I put Muppets Most Wanted further down, because it had sort of bits that film sort of copied. That was the reason I was bringing that up. But yeah, Great Muppet Caper. That's a very entertaining Muppet movie as well, and a really well put together one by Jim Henson. So we get to the top 3 Muppet movies on the list. Probably, you, as a big Muppet fan, as I stated, Muppets Take Manhattan isn't on this list, but you'll know which one I'm kind of narrowing this down to. So the number 3 on this list is 1979's The Muppet Movie. Now, this one is where Kermit begins with Kermit just singing in the swamp, because you know he was born in the swamp, and he basically is approached by a character who tells him he's got a great deal in show business in Hollywood. Kermit's like, oh wow, so he decides to drive to Hollywood and basically make it big in show business, picking up some friends on the way, including Fozzie, Gonzo, Animal, Miss Piggy. That's all it comes in. So it's a road trip movie. That's the best to say of the Muppet movie. It's a light-hearted, entertaining road trip, and he even knows it's a movie because our entire thing starts with the Muppets getting ready to watch it. So you know it's not really canon to the show. It's just a separate movie they filmed together, probably outside. Or it's kind of how the Muppets got together. That's the easiest way to put it down. Yeah, that puts Muppet Movie at number 3 on my list. So we get to my runner-up of my Muppets movies ranks. There's only 2 more Muppet movies for me left to choose from between the ones that are out now. And this one was a heavy debate. I was debating putting this one at the top and putting the other one that's at the top at the bottom, because they're both just as entertaining and I basically can't comprehend which is better. Sometimes I like one better, sometimes I like the other better. That's the easiest way for me to describe it when I'm coming to it, to be honest. So my runner-up for this list is The Muppets. Now what's great about this one is, this one preceded The Muppets Most Wanted, that came out in 2014. This was the 2011 Muppets movie. So this one had Jason Segel and Amy Adams, who played the 2 main characters, Gary and Mary. Then we also had our new character, Walter, who's the character I referred to in Muppets Most Wanted. So he's Gary's brother, except he's a Muppet. But I put that aside. I put that aside and got on with the film. That's basically what happened. I put it aside, got on with the film, and it has top musical numbers. That's what I could say best about the film. Because it starts with an entertaining opening song, Jason Segel and Walter just singing a great song about basically you've got everything you need right in front of you. That's what makes a Muppet film entertaining. As long as it starts with a good musical number, I think you're in for a good entertainment when it comes to this. Basically the plot for this one is they go on holiday once again to Los Angeles, and they want to go and visit the Muppet studio to have a tour. But they discover it's run down and basically about to be taken over to be struck for oil. But it's up to Walter, Gary and Mary to bring the Muppets back together to perform a brand new Muppet show one-off and raise enough money for them to buy the theatre back. And that's kind of how the film goes. But what's good, because the Muppets had a bit of an absence to cinema. They'd had the few odd spin-off films throughout the years and the odd few sketches on TV. There was a spin-off film called Kermit's Swamp Years that happened during there, which is something I haven't watched yet, so I really want to get into watching that. But there's plenty of other Muppet stuff that's been around. So basically they're going to find the other Muppets, bring them back together and bring another show back. And the good thing is, they put as much effort into it. They weren't going to just make a really bad Muppet movie and damage reputation. I think they kind of had a gamble with this, was this could go really one way or it could go the other. And the relief is, it went the correct way. And it was also directed by James Bobin, who would later go on to direct Dora the Lost City of Gold, which is something I was also heavily entertained by. But that's what the Muppets 2011 did. It was an exciting film, and again, another influx of exciting cameos. We had other people like Sarah Silverman appeared at one point, Neil Patrick Harris made a brief appearance in the third act, Jim Parsons, he appeared as Walter's human form, and he even had a close out to the Mana Mana song, and I'm thinking of other people, like Whoopi Goldberg and Selena Gomez. A lot of good people, a lot of good way to keep to revive the Muppet love. That's what this movie did. It revived the Muppet love, and that's what makes you enjoy a modern Muppet movie. So thinking to yourself, what could number one on my list of Muppet movies be? Well, I'll tell you that. My number one Muppet movie is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Now that's an entertaining Muppet movie. I watch this one every Christmas. It keeps that enjoyment in my heart, and it is actually, to be honest, one of the best adaptations of A Christmas Carol to date. And I think that's definitely saying something. So basically Gonzo appears as Charles Dickens and Rizzo is again himself. And then they're basically telling the story of A Christmas Carol with Michael Caine, the Michael Caine, in the role of Ebenezer Scrooge, which is done to perfection. This one again, like I said with the Muppets, it opens with a great musical number. It establishes the character really well. Every time it plays, I just want to enjoy it. In fact, I even loved it so much I bought it off iTunes. That's how much I like that song. That's like, I've got it to listen to every Christmas. It's entertaining, it's extremely heartwarming as well. You have your Muppet characters playing certain roles. You have Sam the Eagle as his headmaster at school. You have Fozzie as Mr. Fozziewig instead of Mr. Fezziwig in the original story. And then you also have Kermit as Bob Cratchit, Miss Piggy as Emily Cratchit, Robin, Kermit's nephew, as Tiny Tim. You have all the other ghosts as well, because you don't really have any set Muppets playing the ghosts. They're like brand new characters brought in. Well, the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come doesn't really need to be a set character because it's usually just a ghoul. But yeah, it had sort of a child playing the Ghost of Christmas Past, and then an original Muppet character. I can't remember who it was who plays the Ghost of Christmas Present. But then you just have other townsfolk as well. You have Bunsen and Beaker. They appear as characters. Like I said, Sam the Eagle and Fozzie. It's the top-notch Christmas film, and that's what makes it my number one Muppet film. So that's my Muppet movies ranked from bottom to top. As I said again, Muppets Take Manhattan isn't yet on this list. I shall wait out until I've seen that one, and then I will probably upload a revised list of that where that fits into the count. I'll probably go through it all again to sort of give you a surprise to when it might be. But that's my 7 Muppet movies ranked, with the exception of, like I said, the final one from bottom to top. And that's basically what I've got for the list. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Do follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All links are down there in the description below. And I shall be back with hopefully another one of these ranking videos or another figure review later on. But do stick out for them and hit that notification bell for when you can be informed about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys.